Nick accidentally dropped his jade pendant under a bronze cauldron. He tried to reach for it but could not touch it, so he attempted to move the cauldron. To his surprise, the 500-kilo cauldron felt as light as foam in his hands. A girl nearby was shocked by this scene, because the cauldron was a sacred heirloom of her family, and throughout history only a handful of people had ever lifted it. She suddenly recalled her grandfather's prophecy. He said one day she would meet a man who could lift the cauldron, and that man would marry her and save the family from its greatest crisis. But in her father's eyes, Nick was nothing more than a useless man without martial skills. He firmly rejected the idea of her marrying Nick. The truth was, Nick had incredible talent. With only minimal training he could become a powerful warrior, but his master feared he might grow arrogant, so he lied to Nick, telling him he was a talentless failure. Nick grew discouraged. His master casually gave him a jade pendant and sent him down the mountain to gain life experience. The moment Nick descended, he encountered a man being hunted. The man begged him for help. Kind-hearted Nick brought the injured man back to safety. At the man's house, Nick met his daughter. He instantly fell for her beauty, unaware that she was destined to be his true love. To repay him, the man offered to grant Nick one wish. Nick said he was searching for his fiancée. When he pulled out the jade pendant, the man realized the bride-to-be was his own daughter, for it was a marriage pact he had arranged years earlier. The girl wanted to tell Nick the truth, but her father stopped her, believing a weak man did not deserve his daughter. So Nick left unaware of her true identity and dropped his pendant under the cauldron, which led to the scene at the beginning. Just as the girl tried to explain the prophecy, a disciple rushed in saying her father's rival had come to cause trouble. Her injured father rose in anger. The girl panicked, knowing he was in no condition to fight, so she begged Nick to help, but Nick admitted he knew no combat skills, only that his speed and strength were above average. Seeing her despair, he reluctantly agreed. They rushed out to see the rival bringing a coffin. He demanded a life and death duel. The father hesitated, but insults forced him to accept. The rival's first fighter was Bruce, the strongest of his generation. The senior disciple stepped out to fight, but Nick noticed the strikes were weak and flawed. He realized the disciple had struck a secret deal to throw the match for money, so he deliberately collapsed and surrendered. The second disciple stepped up, but he was no match. Nick quickly pointed out Bruce's weakness. The disciple followed Nick's advice and won. The girl looked at Nick with admiration. Then the rival sent out his next challenger, a muscular man who was a famous martial arts coach in the city. The father protested, saying this was against the rules, but the fight continued. The second disciple fought bravely, yet his strongest punch did nothing to the coach, while the coach's single strike left him gravely injured. The girl pleaded with Nick to find another weakness, but Nick said the coach had none. He was fighting purely with raw strength, not technique. The disciple refused to yield even if it meant death. The situation escalated. To protect Nick, the girl removed her pendant. She declared herself as his fiancée and urged him to leave before it was too late. But Nick remembered his master's words. He must protect her. He also realized the coach relied only on brute force, so Nick stepped forward, ready to face the challenge himself.